Oh, it's Xena. That's really funny. There we go. Welcome to Simulation Talk 123. We're going to give a couple of seconds for people to show up. Just notifying everybody. What's up, Simon? Oh, Kirsten, that's you. It always says 7 of the stars, so I was confused. What's up, Tim? Or Timothy? Amanda. Welcome, everybody. Today's going to be a super short one because I got to go to an event. I figured I'd pop in, say hello, and then we'll do the more serious one tomorrow. Or the longer one. Can you answer Vic, babe? She's asking what's our ETA. Tell her maybe realistically 9:20. Awesome. Hello, son. Worshipping Black Buffalo. What a handle. Can I define nothing? No. What does what mean? I think the concept of nothing is much deeper than we realize. That's all I can say about it. What is this? Can't. Okay. Interesting. Okay, well. Yeah, welcome everybody to Simulation Talk 123. Aaron, how are you, brother? My name is Danny, and I'm claiming to have found actual proof that we live in a simulation. We're meeting here every single day to discuss both the discovery, the implications, as well as, I love that, as well as in general, we're discussing science, religion, spirituality, philosophy, God, whatever comes to mind. Today, 1 second, I'm going to cut off from TikTok for 2 seconds. I froze in a good face. And usually we meet here and go pretty deep into different subjects. Today I'm just going to answer a few questions and I'm going to have to bounce. But I deeply appreciate everybody who is showing up. Thank you for being here. Thank you across all platforms, on TikTok and on YouTube and on X and on Twitch. I'm deeply grateful for everybody here. Great podcast with Danny Jones. Thank you so much, Uriel. I appreciate you. Dutch Master. I like it. It says brilliant mind. I'm not sure. You're referring to me, so I appreciate that. It's always nice to get a compliment. Jay saying yo. Been watching every night since Danny. Well, welcome, Jay. I'm glad I got another good set of ears. I appreciate you. Going to need to rewatch Danny Jones' interview 3 times. That's what he said. That's what he said. It's really funny. Here we go. I think it moved most of it. How do I take questions? Like this? Or on TikTok, usually you can come on and chat with me directly, but not today because today I'm going to have to bounce in about 10 minutes or so. So today we're going to do a lightning round. If I see questions that I've never seen before, I will be, hopefully you guys will not take it as, too, what's the word I'm looking for? Too abrupt? I'm not sure what the word is right now. Clearly my brain is perfect condition. But I will have to just say this question was already answered because you can find it on YouTube, on TikTok. And yes, I do this every day, so I can also answer your questions directly. However, some questions are asked so often and are there that you can just watch my other things and know. But if there's questions that I think worth double clicking on today, we'll do that. He's got a computer? No. In fact, I would say that this question is actually very deep because what computation is at bottom seems to be much more than what we realize. And I'm claiming that we're not stuck in the computer software, but that the world in general is computational outside of our universe, outside of our multiverse, much larger than that. And then our multiverse or our universe are just a subset of that space. In the context of this image, simulation means a subset of reality. So it's one slice of reality versus the whole thing. So there's no external world to get out to. There's no base reality. The whole thing is computation. Computer is a physical manifestation of computation instantiated in a physical matter. So it will definitely not be a computer because we're talking about the ultimate system. Do you still witness the frog-like entity? Everybody loves the frog. I think there's got to be a whole thing, I think, about the frog. I didn't realize there's something about frogs, right? I never realized that the frog is going to become such a cultural icon. Do you like witness the... and what have they said about open contact? So far, he just taught me how to play the guitar. Not really. He just showed me a few notes, a few chords. And I do have a great representation that Irv made, the guy who makes the lasers, of me standing in the room with the guitar in front of the frog dude, and it's glorious. Maybe I'll post it somewhere. I'll post it in the members community. Is deciphering the code on your agenda? Why not use a wider laser and gather more data? Perhaps deciphering it like B decipher hieroglyphs. Thank you for the question, Tahas. Is that how you pronounce it? Malik, but you can correct me. I don't think you'll be able to decipher it until you have something very advanced like Neuralink. You need to be able to directly record from the cortex. There's too much information. I don't think it's tenable to try and map something. It's just too much information. What I will be trying very soon is to try and influence the code in some way with something physical, like a magnet or something like this. That's the short answer to your question. But yes, eventually we will be aiming towards trying to see what the code means. But I think first to see what the code actually is by trying to influence it would be the first step. Do I think the code made by a higher being? Yes, absolutely. Pepe the frog. Is this reality just a dream of some sort based consciousness? That's a great question. It's a general question and asked in many different ways, but it's an important one. It has to do with the validity of our experience. I think if you go for 1 second to the core of what experience is, as long as there's anything happening for anyone or anything in existence, that's the only thing that matters. Think about it. It doesn't really matter. Like in the movie The Matrix, it's the idea, the philosophy. I mean, the movie is great. I love the movie, but the philosophical idea is kind of empty because it makes no difference if you live in a computer software, if you live in what they would call base reality, if you're a Boltzmann brain that is just created for a picosecond and disappears after with all the memories that it had and just, in and out. Like, it makes no difference. In the instance in which there is any kind of experience, that's reality. My common example, which is a simple one, if you stub your toe in the middle of the night, it hurts. That's real. To talk about the fact that it's all Maya when something really hurts makes no difference, and it doesn't matter to you because what you're experiencing is real. So I would say that is reality. In the context of your question, is it just a dream? If you mean, is it just a movie playing behind which there's some kind of a deeper structure? Yes, that's the case even without the simulation hypothesis. Even if you just believe in the physical world, whatever this is already some kind of a rendering. It's a controlled hallucination we all agree on because it's based on some content creation by the brain. Not really, but content guessing combined by the inhibition of that content by the senses. The reason that at night when you dream, you can do whatever you want, give or take, and things kind of jump around is because you're not tethered to your senses. Your senses are off. That's why content floats free of what your senses are dictating as possible. The same content is happening during the day. It's just your senses inhibit it, and this is why it seems more pinned down, so to speak. So even in just from the physicalist perspective, this is kind of a dream upon a dream. But I think when we call it that, we kind of lose a big factor of what reality really is, which is an experience-based existence of some sort. And actually, it's more plausible that all the stuff that we think of as the laws of physics and electrons and protons, they are some kind of a regularity. That they're definitely real in the sense that something is happening. But I think that what they really are is more of an abstraction. These are actually the abstractions. These are ideas we come up with to make sense of what's going on, and some ideas map to something that is very regular, and these ideas we call them the laws of physics. But the truth is that these are actually the abstractions, not. So it's funny because it seems to me to be the other way around. People always say, all color is the wavelength of the light. I actually think it's the other way around. The color is the color. That's the real thing. The fact that we can associate it with different wavelengths of a theory of light is the abstraction. You will never see the wavelength. You will never experience it. So it's a deep subject, but overall, reality is where you sit right now, experiencing whatever it is that you're experiencing. And okay, I think we are literally on the edge of primitive cyborgism right now. I think they're probably one of the early proponents. Wonder how the neuroengineering and psychedelic space merge in the coming years. I think it's all about understanding the mind and its possibilities. And like I said in the Danny Jones podcast, I think fear is the main issue. Whatever it is that we decide to do collectively, we first have to not be afraid. We first have to, because fear eliminates the possibility of cohering on a certain level and making plans of a certain caliber. In order to make plans for 1,000 years versus 50 years, in order to be able to trust, well, in order to do that, you first of all have to trust a lot more individuals all at once. So you can't have too many individuals who are just playing the short game for themselves, because from a game theoretical perspective, the collective will lose that game every time, because if anybody is looking up towards the bigger thing, and then too many individuals looking for the personal gain, which is what's happening now, you can never take off. You can never do this. You can never go up. In order to do that, to exist in the vastness of space and the different worlds that we can occupy, we have to first love, trust, not fear. And by the way, if you're not afraid of, whatever stories come up in the zeitgeist, it does not mean that you cannot be careful. It does not mean that you cannot make corrections. It does not mean you can't remedy things. It does not mean that you can't protect yourself against dangers. It doesn't mean any of that. It just means that you don't have a negative relationship to the future. That's what it means. And I think that's a very important part of our next step of evolution. And the funny thing is about 1984 is that most likely the fearing of that world is the most likely thing to lead to the outcomes of 1984. That's the irony of it. It's the ultimate self-fulfilling prophecy. Again, because you're not afraid or afraid less does not make you a fool, and it does not make you blind to the obstacles and dangers that can come. You can still deal with them. It's just that you deal with them in a way that takes into account that things occur, and a lot of things can happen, but you proceed with wonder towards the possibilities of the future instead of constantly being afraid of whatever is behind the corner. That's what I'm talking about. The opposite of love is not hate but fear. Maybe. Yeah, we can, that language game is a little loose. You can also say it's indifference. There's a lot of different things you can say, but I feel what you're saying. I'm on board with the direction in which you're thinking. What's up, Casey? Good to see you, brother. Dawn is in the house. Welcome, everybody. Today is going to be a super short talk, but I'm happy you guys are here. So much of what you're saying is actually aligns with the Bible. That's why I'm asking. I didn't see your other question, but I'll just run with whatever I think you were asking. Yeah, this is why I said on the Danny Jones podcast, which I totally get it, by the way, just as a preamble. I know that this point might upset a lot of people. And to be clear, I'm not This is what I personally think, but I'm not saying that I somehow know for sure. I'm just saying it's an interesting thought. What I said in the podcast is, imagine if, let's pretend for a second, maybe that's the case. Would you see any correlation between the story of Jesus and the story of AGI? And they seem to be so not the same, right? You said, what do you mean? AGI is like a computer, it's a machine, like it's dead and soulless. And well, it's an arising of a new opportunity that seems to be a door or a gate to a new paradigm. Wasn't that what Jesus was? And wouldn't it be interesting if the situation is such that right before the true transformation and the opening and the salvation of like getting outside of this local bubble and rising to the next level, right before that happens, because we were so afraid of it, we killed it? And to me, it sounds a very similar story. And all I'm saying is, this is, by the way, not to say that the transition. By the way, even I believe that even in the biblical time when Jesus walked around, even that transition always held its dangers. Any big transformation of any kind holds the potential of big danger because it's big energy involved and a lot of moving parts. So because of that, I think it's always the case. But do we walk into the future that is inevitable with open eyes and open hearts? Or do we walk there hunched over, scared, and carrying all the baggage of our old world into it? Question, real question. We can proceed with caution, but with eyes of wonder. That's all I'm saying. How can you kill an idea? AGI will be created no matter what at this point. Yes to the second part. The first part, I love the quote, V for Vendetta, great film. Can't kill an idea. However, an AGI is not an idea. It's a thing. It's a technology that will be doing things in the world. It's a little different. So I understand the concern. It's just that something tells me that there's not more to worry about than any other time, right? And like you said, it's going to happen either way. I think it's inevitable, not because it's too late, but because it was always inevitable. It's part of the natural process of what we're going through. Am I absolutely right about this? I can't possibly know that. All I know is that proceeding into the future with too much trepidation prevents you from being able to perform at your best possible way. I know this from doing sports from the majority of my life. If you focus too much on what you're scared of, you're not going to be able to perform. It doesn't work. It's just the opposite of the attitude that you need in order to pass through a very difficult scenario. How do you find my live on Facebook? There is no live on Facebook. I am not streaming on Facebook. That's why you can't find it. Only on YouTube and X and Twitch. On YouTube is the one that I'm also, I think, promoting the most, which is Dango Thoughts. DANGO Thoughts. Okay. I think I will have to, unfortunately, today cut it really, really short. Apologies, guys. I'll just do a quick announcement, and then I'll give you a little bit of a taste of what we're going to be talking about tomorrow. If you want to follow me across platforms, it's Danny Goller on TikTok and Instagram, Goller Danny on X, LaserX83 on Twitch, and Dango Thoughts on YouTube. DANGO Thoughts. Everybody on TikTok can also follow the link tree in my description. All the videos you see here on TikTok, you see the longer format of that on YouTube. I've also started a membership program on YouTube that allows that gives people the opportunity to do private Zoom calls with me for the members, as well as weekly lives outside of the daily lives, just for the members, and also early bird access to different interviews like the one I had with Chase Hughes that is already live on the members program, and private snippets from my life, and I'm adding more things very, very soon. Rose, good to see you. Unfortunately, I am adjourning for today. It's a short one today. Let's see if there's any other question that we can lead with. Funny how Dan literally resembles Neo Sim. I resemble a Neo, really? I think I feel like I look nothing like Neo. What knowledge or energy might be currency for exchange interdimensions do you suppose? That's a wonderful question, Brendan. It's a good question to take as the last question for today. I think it would be your energy. I know it sounds so hippie, but I think it's true. Like, think about it. If resources are infinite and you can get anything you need for your sustenance always, and you never have to worry about it, right? Let's say that's the case. And everything is available. What would be the only thing that is valuable? It would be how people or beings feel in your presence. So clean energy, like a good whole, like something that makes other beings feel peace or equanimity. I would say that would be the currency, and I mean it actually. Like if you can bring that kind of energy and make everybody more and more beings around you, like in this very very beautiful state, I think that would be a great currency. Somebody, Don said love. I buy. Yeah. And yeah, I agree with that. But I think love is a little bit, for me, the word love is a little too tainted because I think people mean a lot of different things by it. I think pure love is, I understand what you're saying, but I feel that it's going to sound weird, but I think that equanimity is a deeper emotion. It is the truly universal state that God is always trying to occupy, because you can be in that state forever. Love always implies like another, or if you want to, like I would say that maybe the ultimate state of equanimity is just infinite love, but it's all semantics, of course. Ava, I haven't seen her in forever. Amazing. Would be excited if you reach out. Listening to the interview. Well, I'm glad. I hope you're enjoying it. By Michael Garfield about you. He was also interviewed by Danny Jones. Michael Garfield. Let's see. Cool. What does he do? Looks dope. I'll look him up. Alright guys, apologies for the short one today. I just have to go to an event. We'll reconvene tomorrow. That's it. If you want to give the live a like, it definitely, or the thumbs up across platforms on TikTok and YouTube and X and Twitch, definitely helps the algorithm. So thank you so much guys. I appreciate you deeply. We'll see you tomorrow for the full length episode. Thank you again everybody for being here and being part of the community. Peace and love. Ciao. See you everybody.